and welcome to the second day of broadcasting in the F1 in Schools Ireland Virtual National Final for 2021. Joining you from Mondello Park, Kildare today, as you can see here, the 3 kilometre circuit in the background. Ireland's only international race circuit. It's seen the likes of Ayrton Senna grace its track in its 50-plus year history. And we join you here from the Martin Brand collection at Mondello Park, which holds over 20 unique race cars, including 5 F1 models like the Jordan Grand Prix car you see here. And great to remember Martin Brand today, Paul, great supporter of the F1 Schools programme.
Hi, Aaron. Yeah. Martin Brand has been involved in the competition since 2015, since we took part. So it's great to be able to use the fantastic Mondello facilities today. And yeah, we're in for a lot of action. So just as you're looking there, you see the leaderboard today. So the top 6 teams from the time trials, which we would have seen on Thursday, they get a bye into the round of 32, while the rest of the teams battle it out in the round of 60. Just to give you a quick rundown of the point system, the first round of 60, if you set a time, every team will get 25 points at least. If you progress to the round of 32, you'll get 50 points. The next round is the round of 16 and 70 points there. Then you're into the quarterfinals, so we're into the last 8 then, and the points go like this: 85 points for the quarterfinals, 100 points for getting to the semifinals. The runner-up gets 110 points, and the winner gets bragging rights all over Instagram and 125 points. So this can really shake up the standings here, going into our final project element. And I can't wait. It's going to be really, really fun. The seeding is very interesting. A lot of big surprises, and yeah, really looking forward to this.
Absolutely. And as we just recap yesterday on the seeding from the time trial, remember the teams are seeded by their average time. You've got CM Motorsport there, first time school, up in 16th. Flat Out Racing, very vocal in the comments on Thursday, Paul. They're in 21st, and they'll be looking to shake up the order there, trying to get into that last 16. Celtic Racing down in 40th. Now they'll feel that they're displaced there because they've actually been setting times of 1.485, 1.549. So keep an eye out for them. Possible giant killing on the way there. We've talked about the rules. We've talked about the point scoring. Paul Flynn, you've been on the trigger on race day before for Knockout Cup. Should teams be feeling a little bit nervous right now?
Absolutely, yeah. Just to see your car at the front of the track, it is a bit nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. As we have a look then at how those seedings work into our tournament bracket, Fortinova obviously through by virtue of having a bye. Our top 6 teams all getting a bye into the next round. Ricciosio will also benefit from that. Some other interesting ties in this part of the bracket. And remember, today it's all about the race to the quarterfinal. So tomorrow's quarterfinals will all be shown live on TG Car from 8:30. And everybody here racing for the chance to be featured in that TGR documentary tomorrow night. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to make it there. That Defiance MJ Flood race is going to be interesting to see how the girls from Limerick get on there. And in the final set of pairings and the final bracket on their way to the quarterfinals, one that I'm really looking out for there is the Ishka Velocity Racing race. I think that could be close.
And before we kick off the Knockout Cup action, we just want to highlight 2 of our competitors. Unfortunately, due to circumstances outside their control, they didn't make it to race day, but excellent car designs here from Neon Concept Racing. That one looks really quick. Would have been exciting to see that on track, and unfortunate that they didn't quite make it, but they've been great competitors throughout the year, vocal on social media, and put in some great portfolios as well and some great interviews. So congratulations to Neon Concept. And similarly, SBC Dungannon didn't quite make it to race day. Again, circumstances outside their control, but again, we want to congratulate the team on a fantastic job, well done. Car with a really interesting design, and again, have been great competitors, and our first Northern Irish team to compete in F1 in Schools Ireland in a few years now, the team from Dungannon. So we hope to see them back next year and to get them on track again.
So it's Knockout Cup, it's head-to-head. The way to progress to the next round is to set the fastest track time between the 2 races. Each team gets 1 go in each lane, and that's it. You've got to set the fastest time between the 2 of you. And if you don't make it, unfortunately, that's the end of the line.
Yep, just final preparations here, lining the cars up, making sure that they're nice and straight and that they can get down that track in a matter of a second or maybe quicker.
Lights out, away we go. We wait for them at the end of the track, and it's a DNF there for SEE Racing. Raptor setting a time in the 1.6s. So that's the time to beat. And can SEE Racing rescue themselves here? Good time there from Raptor, Paul. They'll be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'll be confident here. SEE might have something to say about that. But as you can see here, they've swapped lanes and they're into the second and last race.
So the time to beat's a 1.656, but SEE can't do it. And Raptor Racing earned the reward of facing Vortinova in the next round. And next up, we go to Harp Racing versus Chintruk Racing. This one's going to be interesting, Paul. It's the 17th seeds, Harp Racing, up against the 48 seeds, Chintruk Racing, an all Munster affair.
Absolutely, yeah. And just looking at this Chintruk Racing car again, we said it on Thursday, and that finish in the car is really beautiful. Maybe deserving higher of 48th, but I tell you one thing, Harp might have something to say about that.
Absolutely. So we wait for the cars to be launched, and Harp Racing with an excellent time, a 1.375. Put some daylight between themselves and Chintruk Racing here. We're going to need to pull something out of the bag to rescue themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. That Harp front wing there, holding on in terms of high impact there at the end of the race, but they're doing okay. And they'll be pretty happy with that. 1.375, the time to beat.
Lights out, away we go. And no, Harp Racing take it again. So they're through to the round of 32 and battling to face them, CM Motorsport versus Ernos Naguia. The CM Motorsport car there, featuring a lot of tape after those front wing issues, colliding with the tether line during the qualifying and the time trial. Ernos Naguia had a few DNFs, Paul. They'll be looking to get across the finish line here and set a competitive time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this could be the big step up here for Ernos Naguia. Let's see how this goes. That's a really great camera angle, and CM Motorsport across the line. Ernos Naguia do put up quite short there, but they will have a second chance. 1.431 to beat Ernos Naguia. Will they be able to? Let's see what happens.
Absolutely, and you've got to feel the aero performance there of that CM Motorsport car is somewhat affected. You can see the wing is just starting to tilt away, and that's because we're actually trying to get it out of the way of that tether line as we try and fix it, so that it doesn't ship any further damage. So it's kind of shifted a little bit to the right there. This will be interesting to see if that hampers their performance. Ernos Naguia are away, and we wait for the cars to come into focus down the track. And look at that. CM Motorsport take the win, and Ernos Naguia, unfortunately, no luck whatsoever.
That's the end of the line for Ernos Naguia, but fantastic competitors, and well done to them. CM Motorsport through to the next round to face Harp Racing.
Absolutely, and yeah, you can see there just the Ernos Naguia car a little bit up the track there, and that's about 2-3 meters short maybe. And again, we've seen a few teams struggle with this issue of tether lines getting a lot of friction on the front wing, and it's really slowing teams down at both ends of the grid. On the lighter end, some teams just getting a little bit of it, but then towards the end of the grid, some teams really suffering. We move on then to Nimbus versus Omega, Paul.
Yeah, so you might remember Omega. They did have some difficulties in the time trials with the first race, but they're back for the knockout. They did manage to get patched up. Nimbus here seeded 9th. That's an excellent performance from them. And truly a dark horse, I think, aren't going forward. And here they are. This is going to be close.
Yeah, Nimbus do take it there. Yeah, about 2 meters between it. So that's 0.3 of a second. 1.315 is going to be one of the best times today. Don't expect too many teams to go further than that. And Omega are really going to need to up their game here if they're going to save themselves.
Yeah, you can really see the repairs that have to be done. A lot of tape required. But here we go again for the second race. And Nimbus look to be getting the better of them. Just ahead across the line. Not much to split them, 700ths of a second there. But not enough for Omega, unfortunately. Let's find out who faces Nimbus 2021 between Kurat and Celerity Racing.
Absolutely. And just to say that Omega time was actually really good in the end. And 1.4 is not bad, especially on a colder track here in Montello Park. But unfortunately, not enough to save themselves. So we move on to Celerity Racing versus Currix Racing. Now, two experienced teams here, or experienced schools. And Celerity will be hoping to do better than that time trial performance. You know that they've got more pace in the car. As we see them come down the track, it looks like the Celerity car is ahead. It is.
A little bit of wobble across the line, but Carrick's pulling up short again. Celerity just under 2 seconds. They'll be hoping to improve there to make sure that they can see themselves safely into the second round. But here we go again for the second and last race here.
Now, this would be a shock. The 41st seeds against the 24th. Currix would have been hoping to get through this relatively easily, you know, given the gap in the times between them.
That's the magic of the Knockout Cup, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. The magic of the Knockout Cup. And that's a DNF, I think. That's a wheel gone off for the Currix car. So even though it finishes quicker, Celerity are there to capitalize, and their time of 1.998 is enough to get through to the round of 32.
You can just see that wheel following Currix down the track. Very, very unfortunate, but that's just a DNF, and Celerity do make it through. So well done. Hard luck to Currix. And just as the car was launched there, Aaron, a wheel just almost like it blew out. Not something we want to see, but anyways, Hadron versus Celtic Racing.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you say, magic of the Knockout Cup. Now, we've got the 40th seed Celtic Racing, who will justifiably feel they are ranked a little bit lower than they should be. They're up against Hadron Racing, who are in 25. Hadron, obviously from Sutton Park School, last year's second place overall. And this is tight. This is very tight. Wow. Hadron Racing take it, but there's only 500s between them. So let's see what Celtic can do on the other lane, because this could be really, really close here.
Yeah, just the final touches here to the race, and the lights are out. And here we go. Celtic ahead. Will it be enough to beat 1.419, Aaron?
1.419 to beat. They do beat it. They beat it by 100th of a second. That is so close. And that is a giant killing.
That is a giant
Racing
killing.
From Sutton Park School are out in the round of 64. Celtic Racing come from behind, take the win. Wow. Well. FAF Racing then against Silent Flyer.
That's a really, really great camera angle, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Love chasing the cars down the track there. And again, the wheels, it seems, on that Silent Flyer car, because it's not a bad aerodynamic design, but those wheels, which are really, really smooth, are just a little bit heavy.
Yeah, they are dragging along there, and they slow it down a small, but they add a little bit too much weight to the car at the same time. But let's see how they get on here in the second race. I'm not sure, Aaron, have we got a fast lane today, have we?
I mean, it seems like that lane that FAF are in now seems to be going a little bit quicker. 1.403 the time to beat, but it won't matter, because look at that from FAF Racing. They put daylight between themselves and Silent Flyer, who do improve massively.
But a 1.2 there from FAF. And just to see there, the quickest times come from obviously the cars that can manage to get on the track without swerving too much. So we have seen a lot of swerving over the last or over the time trials at least. If the cars are able to, channel that air straight behind them to propel themselves, and they had the best chance. But some of these cars, unfortunately, they do a bit of swerving, and it really takes time off their overall time. But here we have Gonzalez versus SCC here. And it is lights out here, and away they go. SCC just getting down the line there. Gonzalez bringing up the rear there, but a 1.6. Gonzalez could think that they could get this one here and pip them at the final hurdle there.
Absolutely, yeah, I think they could do. And just to note, Ricciardo obviously through to the next round by virtue of getting a bye. So we move on to Gonzalez versus SCC. But 1.6 is achievable for Gonzalez. They'll have to feel that. Lights out, away we go then. Oh, the SCC car pulls ahead early. Gonzalez really slowing up, and it won't matter about the time to beat because SCC win the second race as well, and that Gonzalez car comes to a halt, 2 or 3 meters short. Not what you want to see as it comes into focus there, Paul, but a great run from the Wexford team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to them, and I think the only Wexford team in the competition this year, so they flew the flag honourably. So well done to them. SEC through to the next round to face Wikiosa, fourth versus 29th seed. So next up we have DSL Racing versus Precision Racing.
Absolutely, and this is a Dublin Kildare rivalry. Going to be interesting to see how this one resolves itself. The Selbridge Community School cars have been fast overall, and I'm interested to see how many of them can make the round of 32.
Bit of swerving there. Tokyo Drift style, and I think they're almost lifting off the track, and DSL do take it.
Absolutely. So that was a really competitive time from DSL there, and be interested to see how far they can go. Precision have it all to do. Looks like the team from Dublin, from Gonzaga, are going to be saying goodbye to us at the end of this, but you never know. The Knockout Cup, they're going to need, I think it's a 1.406 to get through. Paul, take us through the race.
Yeah, I think 28th seed want to be getting through here to the round of 32, and they do manage to get across the line quickest with a 1.506. So they did out of 10th there, but they'll be happy enough. They're going to race either Vroom or Dragonfly Aaron in the next round.
Absolutely. So Vroom Racing then, also very vocal, the Pres Killarney girls on social media. So if you hear any noise in the background, that's the cheers coming all the way from Killarney for Vroom Racing, also joined by Team Mario Kart in that school. Excellent performance all round from the Pres Killarney girls. Let's see how they get on here.
It's lights out and away we go. Aaron, there's a little bit of wobbling there from the Vroom car, but doesn't matter. Those look like they're going to get across the line here quickest. Dragonfly just slowing down there, but they do manage to get across the line. Vroom will be pretty happy with that, Aaron. So almost a second between them.
Yeah, that 1.366 is a great time from Vroom. Again, with the Dragonfly racing car, it's really not bad on the aero, but it's the mass of those wheels again. And one of the rules of thumb of F1 schools is that it's always about the mass first, and then it's about the aero. And unfortunately, mass just delaying that car just a little bit.
Yeah, and again, a little bit of side to side there. There's a bit of an accident there, but I don't think it's anything from the car. That did come up from the track, I think, Aaron. Vroom Racing do take the second race as well, and they're through to face DSL Racing. So well done, Vroom, and hard luck to Dragonfly as well. So up next, then we have Ground Effects versus Mount Hawk Motors, Aaron. These two teams are seated quite far apart here. So Ground Effects, they'd be hoping that round 32 won't be good enough. They'll be hoping for round 16 here, but hopefully and maybe Mount Hawk Motors has something to say about that.
Absolutely. It's not often that Longford go into a match against Kerry as the favourites, and this time here they've put some daylight between themselves and Mount Hawk Motors. Let's see if they get to the finish. It's trundling along there, the Mount Hawk Motors car, but it is going to finish. It's going to make it, and they'll record a time at Ground Effects, putting some distance between them there. Yeah, a 2-second gap, and Ground Effects at a 1.374. That's a pretty good time. It's pretty good relative to what we've seen so far. So they'll be confident of going on a bit of a run here, the Longford team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mount Hawk Motors, I will be disappointed with that last one, but they have a chance to improve here. Ground Effects, definitely very happy with the 1.3 at the minute. I think that'll be enough to see them through, but hopefully, I think, Ground Effects will take this one. And a respectable time all the same.
But excellent performance here from the Mount Hawk schools overall. Really hard to enter as a newcomer school, and they've taken on the challenge, and they've got the car across the finish line. Respectable performance, and we hope to see them back next year for all the schools from Tralee.
Absolutely, yes. So now we have Fire Racing versus Ruby Racing.
So then, It's the very vocal on social media, vocal in the comment section, Flat Out Racing from Kinsale Community School. Doing some excellent stuff online, Paul, with the social media work, up against Ruby Racing from Ortsgun Lamara.
Yeah, two brightly coloured cars here, and that is a quick race there.
Absolutely. So time in the 1.3s for Flat Out again, that'll be competitive. Ruby Racing, again, it's a weight issue here, slowing them down. Let's see how they can do here. Surprised that they can pull this one back. There's a bit of a gap there. Lights out and away we go. And wow, that Flat Out time. So Flat Out take the win. They're up against Ground Effects. That one's going to be close in the next round. And we move on then to their Kinsale Community School colleagues, AT Racing, going to take on Team Revolution.
Yeah, so Revolution probably disappointed to be seeded down so low in 37, but round 32, to be hoping to break into it. It will be a bit of an upset, but maybe AT Racing has something to say about that.
Absolutely. Now, their time started to improve yesterday with a bit of running, got their bearings moving, and looks like they're ahead here. They're going to take the win in this first race, and they're going to put a bit of daylight between themselves and AT Racing. Yeah, about 0.3 of a second. Can AT Racing come back at them here in the second race?
Yeah, again, Aaron, it's that front wing. I think we did talk about during the time trials for AT Racing, and that did have a little bit of a breakage at the start. So they were compromised a small bit, but Revolution started off a bit behind AT Racing, but they do come across the line quickest, and well done for Revolution, 1.705. They're through to the round 32. They've broken the seed here, and well done. So they will go through to face Kingspan Racing, a really nice matchup there. I'm sure that one's going to be an interesting fixture. Okay, so as you know, Future also getting a bye as well as Kingspan, so we're through to the next race here, and this here, wow,
Talk about bragging rights.
Two teams from the same school here, Aaron, seeded so closely. With CSLR and Sting Racing. I can only imagine if this was in school, Aaron, there'd be ruptures inside in the classroom. Thank God it's a Saturday. They're not at each other's throats today, and that is a 1.462 for Sting, getting across the line 0.2 of a second quicker than CSLR. I think they'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. I mean, that intra-school rivalry has got to be crazy. Like you say, they're seated really closely. CSLR, look, they're really going to be desperate to get back in this one. It's lights waiting, lights out, and away we go. And wow, that Sting car just about takes it, and they're through to the next round of the Knockout Cup.
Excellent stuff. So BCS Falcons versus Star Racers again. You see Star Racers with the extra weight applied. Really, really unfortunate for them, but let's see how they get on here. 47th, if they can break into round 32, they'll be very happy here. BCS Falcons might have something to say about that, though.
And BCS Falcons take away. They are faster, just about. They're putting some daylight between themselves and Star Racers. So that could be a good time for BCS Falcons. Star Racers massively improved, though, on the times that they've been setting so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully now they'll think that extra weight won't hold them back too much here. They have a time to beat, though, and let's see if they can manage it.
So the time to beat is 1.374, but it won't matter because look at that. BCS Falcons put themselves ahead again of Star Racers. That's a 1.393. Keep an eye out for that Cork team. They could be going on a bit of a run. Next up, Pro Force versus Mario Kart. You might be hearing the cheers from Killarney again.
So Mario Kart again, very, very vocal. Pro Force Racing with an excellent time in the time trials with seeded 15th. And they are down the track, and it looks like they're going to be quicker here, Aaron. Mario Kart just kind of bouncing away there, bobbling away. They do get across the line here, but Pro Force take the win, and that's an excellent time from Pro Force. So the 1.447, they'll be very, very happy with that. Mario Kart do need to do a bit of improvement here. Let's see how they get on.
Absolutely. No, I think Pro Force would sleep a little easier if they're setting a faster time because they're going to go up against BCS Falcons, who are just in the 1.3s. Obviously, provided that Mario Kart don't knock them out here. They'll want to set a faster time in this race. Now, they do get ahead of that Mario Kart car, see what kind of time they can get. That's a 1.447 was the time to beat for Mario Kart. They won't get that. They do get across the line. Now that is a 1.3 for Pro Force.
Matchup will be tasty, Aaron. 15th versus 18th into the round of 32. But up next, Defiance Racing versus MJ Flood.
Absolutely. Now, the girls from Limerick got themselves into the top 10. First time participating school. Great achievement from them. Bit of tape on the front wing, keeping the show together. MJ Flood will be desperately looking to improve on the times that they set in the time trial. They'll feel like they have more pace, but again, the weight of the car holding them back a little.
And you can just see there that Defiance car is slightly lifting up off the racetrack there, Aaron. You can see that MJ Flood car getting across the line with a 1.441 for Defiance. That's going to be pretty, tough to beat for MJ Flood, but they'll be hoping that the Barons have not relax a small bit, and hopefully they can improve in that time.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, when the time trial racing doesn't go your way, you get difficult seeds. And wow, look at the two cars really hitting it off the wall at the start of the race. Now, the Defiance car manages to go better. After that, they put daylight between themselves and MJ Flood and put themselves into the round of 32. Well done to MJ Flood, though. They do get it across the line, and it's a clean sweep for them of getting the car down the track. So they can be proud of that. And Defiance will move on to the round of 32.
Absolutely, Aaron. I think one thing that we haven't mentioned before is the absence of the regional finals really, doesn't it give students I'll say that again. What was it? I'm just gonna
go from the absence of.
Yeah. So the absence of the regional finals does kind of hinder teams' performance. So usually the regional finals allows teams to reevaluate their car design. Sorry, up next year we've Hurricane versus Olympus.
So Hurricane down the track quickly, and look at that. They've already built a gap between themselves and Olympus. The Olympus car dragging a little bit on the side of the track, but Hurricane 1.449. That won't be a bad time in this shake-up for the next round.
Absolutely here. So Ard Sculamera, a number of teams from Ard Sculamera, they'll be hoping to break into down 32 here. Seeded 42, it's not unthinkable. Let's see how they get on here.
Absolutely. But look at that. Hurricane again, putting distance between themselves and their competitors. That Kalosh to Kiron car again. Kalosh to Kiron, first time competitors, and they've got to be proud of that. They're into the next round.
Absolutely not to be underestimated here, Aaron. And they're through to face Defiance Racing. So up next, we have the Flight Racing car. This is Tapa F1.
Absolutely. So Flight Racing, also from Kalosh to Kiron Athlone, they'll be looking to make it 2 from 2. Tapa, again, some front wing friction issues in the time trial. Let's see if they can overcome those here. Lights out then, away we go. And the Flight car, again, has distance between itself and the Tapa car. And let's see if they can get to the finish here. Yep, they'll make it and set a time. And not what Tapa would have been looking for there. They'll try to get a bit more fluidity in the second race. And that 1.7 will be achievable.
You can just see there in that last race, that Flight Racing car did take a little bit more damage at the end. So we have some more fresh tape. Again, it's been dinged race worthy, so they're good to go. It's been holding up so far quite well. So let's see. And they do seem to be pulling ahead here, Aaron. Tapa F1, they just don't have enough in it, unfortunately. And Flight Racing come across the line to take the win in that one, and they're through to the next round.
Absolutely. But well done to Tapa Racing. They set a time again. They do improve, but it's just not enough to get past Flight Racing this time. So on the battle to face them, then it's Rogue 3 Racing versus Hexagonal Racing. And the team from Limerick here, the top seeded team to not get a bye for the next round. So you've got to feel like Hexagonal are up against it here.
Yeah, this would be the shock of the season, Aaron. But, we love kind of those fairy tale runs in the Knockout Cup. So let's see if Hexagonal can break the seed here.
So no fairy tale on this occasion, because look at that for distance that Rogue 3 have put between the cars. That's a really, really great car there that Rogue 3 have got. It's really consistent. And unfortunately for Hexagonal, it's the curse of the DNF again.
Yeah, hopefully they can get the car across the line here. They'll be desperately hoping for this one, Aaron. Rogue 3 Racing, yeah, very, very confident in that race. Really, really slick design. And yeah, you got to feel that Hexagonal up against it here.
Absolutely. So against the backdrop of Modelo Park, can Hexagonal make something happen here? And they're away. Rogue 3 again. Just look at that spectacular performance. And doesn't matter about the time to beat. Unfortunately, looks like Hexagonal are not going to make it across the line. And unfortunately, no fairy tale for the Cavan school, Paul, but they've been great competitors.
Absolutely, yeah. One of our most vocal competitors, and absolutely brilliant performance this year from them. Maybe disappointed not to get through, but I think there's a lot to be taken away from that.
So then Swift Racing get a bye. Despite the fact that the car won't race, they do still get their bye into the next round, given they had a great qualifying performance. So we move straight then to Nova versus KPH, and this is tight on the seedings. Well, there's only 5 places between them.
Yeah, and really two nice designs here. Be interesting to see. And this is tight, Aaron. Let's see. Oh, who's gonna win this? I think Nova are just pulling ahead.
Incredibly tight there. A 1.621 for Nova, but you could see that KPH car is not far behind. They're going to fancy themselves on the other side of the track here. Can they pull it off?
Absolutely, really, really kind of inventive front wing there, which incorporates the headline into it. Beautiful color scheme as well. Nova with the all black here, and there's a little swerving here, but KPH seems to be getting ahead. But I think Nova might just pip them. They do with a 1.748, Aaron. It's 3 hundredths between them. Unfortunately, that won't be enough for KPH Construction. Nova are through to face Swift, and I think they'll be pretty happy with that, Aaron. So up next, we have that ultra thin design from St. Pat's versus Swiss Swoosh, another team from Selbridge Community School.
Absolutely. So this is going to be interesting. I think these teams are pretty tight in the seating, but St. Pat's get away quickly. Let's see what kind of time they're going to set here, because they're putting a little bit of distance between themselves and Swift Swoosh. Okay, so they're across the line. So Swoosh make it as well. It's 2 seconds from St. Pat's. That's definitely achievable for Swift Swoosh. They won't be super happy about that one.
Definitely still achievable there. You can just see me taking off the safety from the starting block to allow the cars to race. Here we go, St. Pat's again, quickest off the line and quickest to get to the end line. They've been pretty happy with that through to the next round. Swift Swoosh just bringing off the rear there. But well done to both teams. St. Pat's knocking 4 tenths off their time there as well, Aaron. So they'll be happy and confident going to round 32. Let's see who they face between Ishka Racing versus Velocity, 14th versus 51st. Yeah, really, really interesting designs from the two again here. And we talked about the Ishka Racing back wing. It has a little bit of damage taken, but it's good to race. And let's see who comes out on top here.
Absolutely. So remember that Ishka car had that weight issue, which they had a penalty added on. But wow, they absolutely scorched that race, and it's a 1.238. That's the fastest time we've seen so far today.
Aaron, if Ishka Racing can get to the final, 1.238 will be so hard to beat. I think this could be an excellent one from them if they can keep those consistent 1.2s up. Even 1.3s, this is going to be enough to get through. Velocity Racing with DNF just pulling up a little bit short. But let's see if they can get across the line here at Gonzaga College School. Really, really interesting design. And yeah, let's see how they go. The lights are up, and let's see what happens.
Lights out, then away we go. 1.238, the time to beat. And again, Ishka absolutely scorch ahead in this one. But it looks like Velocity will get across the line. They do. They set a time in the 2 seconds, and they can be proud of getting across the line there. But Ishka Racing are really on form today. They've turned on the heat.
Yeah, both races with 1.2 St. Pat's. They'd be looking at that thinking, how are we going to beat it? But that's up for the next round here. So we have next round here of Invictus versus KLDL. Again, seeded quite far apart, but KLDL might have something to say about that.
Absolutely. So remember that KLDL car shipped some damage on the way to us in transport. We were able to patch it up, but again, it just seems like that front wing is dragging on the ground a little bit. The Kaloshin and Me car gets across first. Will the KLDL car set a time? Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God. Oh, that's
Oh,
heartbreaking stuff for
that's
KLTL. Millimeters are in that. Uh, they'll be hoping they can get across the line here. Invictus was um, bobbling across that end line, but they'll be hoping that they can shoot straight down the track there. KLTL, let's see if they can manage it here now.
absolutely. So 1.494, the time to beat. It won't matter because look at that. Invictus absolutely scorching ahead. Again, the car is bouncing around a lot. Let's see. Can KLDL, the team from Ross's Community School, Donegal, set a time? They will. They will. They get across the line. And unfortunately, it's the end of the road for them. But an overall competition performance they can be proud of, Paul.
Absolutely, yeah. KLTL, excellent competitors. Invictus through to the next round to face either Xenon or Team Bolt. Aaron, we love this Team Bolt design. We love the lightning bolt that they've placed in the top of their car. Xenon, really, really slick design. Two fierce competitors. This is going to be interesting.
Absolutely. So touch the lightning bolt for luck before the start of the race. Xenon Racing. Is that a sponsorship sticker that's coming off the car there?
I think it is, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll have to have those stripped off for the next race, but they do set the time. Obviously, the sponsorship stickers not considered a critical car component, so they're allowed to have a bit of wobble there, but definitely wouldn't have helped their track time.
Yeah, again, and Team Bolt just bringing up the rear, but let's see how they get on this one. No, again, we have another sticker coming up from the Xenon car, but they're across the line. Little bit of drifting. Team Bolt relatively straight across the line, but that won't be enough for them, unfortunately. Xenon with a 1.496. They'll be looking eyeing up Invictus now for the next round. Let's see how they get on. But now, Sirocco versus Study Clicks, Aaron. Again, this Sirocco car, we love this design. It's inventive. It's unique, that's for sure. And let's see how it matches against the Study Clicks car here. A bit
So
more
this is
of
an
a
all Dublin rivalry here, and it's the Institute versus Tala Community School, and it's the bragging rights residing in Tala for their first race anyway, because Study Clicks get across the line with a 1.545.
yeah, really good time there from Study Clicks. They'll be confident with that. Sirocco, they'll be hoping that they can beat that time 1.5. Those back wheels, Aaron, they're looking very close to the ground. Maybe the tether line guide is just dragging on the track a small bit. It's hard to know. But they're
Absolutely. I think that front wing as well, since it's been repaired, is also dragging a little bit on the ground. And yeah, that time won't be good enough to get Sirocco through to the next round. So Study Clicks go through then to face Team Quicksilver in the round of 32. Quicksilver with the bye. Now let's meet the cars who haven't raced so far. It's Fortinova, the top seeds. They'll be coming into the round of 32, joined by Future Racing, second place from the time trials. Lovely looking blue car there from St. Mary's. Swift Racing won't race today due to the damage they sustained, but they still take third place and the 50 points for getting through to the next round. Riciosa Racing bringing it up in fourth. And Kingspan Racing are fifth seeds from Blackrock College in Dublin. Great performance from them. How far can they get in the Knockout Cup? And finally, Team Quicksilver patched together, but still going and still in sixth place overall, Paul.
Yeah, so this is where it gets really, really interesting. So we have Fortinova back in the mix here. Fastest car in the time trials, Raptor Racing. This would be genuinely the biggest upset I think we'd face today if Raptor can do the business.
Absolutely. So there's a chap called David. He met a fella called Goliath once. It's something like that on this track. But yeah, unfortunately, Goliath usually gets the win, and it's the Goliath from St. Bridget's Loughrea that sets a time of 1.283 there. You've got to feel that's slightly out of reach for Raptor.
Yeah, of course. But then again, there's no pride lost to lose to this beautifully engineered car here. Raptor Racing really holding their own there still. You know, that's an impressive display from them. But Fortinova just too strong there with a 1.353. Not the fastest time we've seen today. So this could be interesting here. They're through to round of 16. And who's going to face them? Harp Racing or CM Motorsport?
Yeah, and a shout out there to the Lewisburg School. Again, they're up against the fastest car, but they've put in a great performance. And unfortunate to see them bow out, but we move on to CM Motorsport versus Harp Racing. And this is the closest tie of the round. It's 16 versus 17. Harp Racing going to try and break the seeding here.
Bit of wobbling there from CM Motorsport and take a bit of a bobble here, but Harp Racing straight down the track here. and takes the win with a 1.488, they'll be looking to get through to face Fortunova here. Will 1.4 be enough here for them, Aaron? CM Motorsport, they'll be looking forward to getting to doing improving there. That front wing again, it's holding its own, but let's see if it can do the business here.
Lights out then. Away we go. 1.488, the time to beat. It won't matter. Harp Racing have got ahead. Harp Racing have broke the ceiling, and they are in the round of 16.
And they're through to face Fortunova, Aaron. That's going to be a tasty matchup. So,
Absolutely.
Nimbus versus Celerity. Talk to me, Aaron. What do you think?
So Celerity, obviously the surprise package of round one, they took advantage of Currix Racing's DNF and their first time not going to plan as well. So listen, they're in bonus territory here, but they're going to try and put it up to Nimbus Racing here, the 9th seeds overall.
Yeah, 9th versus 41st here, Aaron. This is probably the furthest apart seeding we have. Nimbus Racing, in my opinion, the dark horse of the Knockout Cup. They've been quietly getting about their business. 1.3, Aaron, is nothing to ignore. So well done. Through to the second round here, or through to the second race here, they swapped their lanes. I'm just adding the finishing touches here, making sure that they're lined up straight, that they can get down the track as quick as possible. Give them every chance here, Celerity. And let's see. It's lights out and away we go here. Nimbus Racing getting away quick. Celerity, can they improve? No, unfortunately not. Nimbus across the line quickest again. And Celerity, I think they can be pretty happy with how they get on with a 2.1 there. But Nimbus Racing, 9th seed overall, through to round of 16. They're going to face either Celtic or FAF, Aaron.
Absolutely. So FAF then versus Celtic, the surprise package again of round one. Celtic Racing, they also broke seeding. This is a big gap. There are a lot of places between these two teams, 32. Can Celtic Racing pull off a shock here? Well, FAF pull well clear, Paul.
Yeah, that's a fine margin there from FAF to Celtic. So 3.5 tenths there. Let's see how they get on the second race here. Celtic, again, is a little bit of a prop up there from the tether line for the Celtic car, but that's just with the way the front wing is, unfortunately. Let's see if they can improve here. They're way quick, but I think FAF are going to have this one, Aaron. Yeah, they have their number, and they're through and across the line here. Celtic do improve, but just really unfortunate. So FAF through to face Nimbus. That's going to be a nice matchup there. So 9th versus 8th in around 16, Aaron. Big race.
Absolutely. So all of those teams then just that one race away from getting into tomorrow's documentary, and looking to join them then in the round of 16. You've got SCC Racing versus the 4th seeds Ricciosa. Again, this Ricciosa car, probably the surprise package of the lot and how quick it is.
Yeah, I'm loving those kind of side pods there, Aaron. Really, really thin features. You think they're a little bit exposed, maybe a little bit fragile, but that's holding up really, really well. And they get across the line quickest. SCC just bringing up the rear there. So there's about 3 tenths in that, Aaron. I think they can improve. I don't think Ricciosa are home and dry just yet. SCC, let's see if they can do any better. What do you think, Aaron?
Absolutely, yeah. I think Ricciosa will want to improve that time. Again, beautiful finish on that car. SCC, they've got to save themselves. They need a time in the 1.3s. Lights out then. Away we go. Ricciosa Racing pull ahead. The time to beat's 1.369. SCC aren't far behind, but it won't matter because look at that. Taking the win, Ricciosa 1.56, Paul. Not what they would have been looking for.
Yeah, took a little bit of a hit there, a little bit of a dent off the side of the track. That's really going to harm their time. But they are through, and it's DSL versus Vroom Racing again. Is that's shouting I heard. So come all the way from Killarney. Wow, Vroom Racing. I'm sure they're going to be really, really excited for this one. Round 32. Let's see how they get on. This is going to be fun, Aaron.
Absolutely. Can the Pres Killarney girls put a number on the Selbridge Community School car? This is going to be close. But Vroom Racing seems to take ahead there. Do they? They do steal a march on the DSL car, but that is close. That is very close. That is just about 1/10 between the cars. This is not over.
This is not over, Aaron. 1/10 is never enough to see it through here. DSL, we'll be looking. This might be considered the fast lane, Aaron. To those listening at home, watching at home, they might have figured out if there's a couple of milliseconds to stay on either lane. But I think Vroom Might get across the line there quickest aids. They're not safe. DSL get across the line there quickest iron, but it's not going to be enough with a 1.575. Vroom do take it because of the time set in the first race, and they're through to face Richie Osa.
That is spicy. What a finish. DSL there, absolutely picking up the milliseconds there on Vroom towards the end of that race.
Yeah, we're not short on drama here.
Absolutely not. So it's Longford, it's Cork, it's Ground Effects versus Flat Out. This one's going to be tight as well. Great times in the last round. Lights out, away we go. It's Ground Effects who seem to be taking the lead here. And
what's the split them?
Oh, wow.
Ground Effects, wow. 300ths of a second. Flat Out Racing, they're going to be thinking, okay, we can do this in this next round here. Ground Effects, they're going to be on the edge of their seats, Aaron. What's going to happen?
Absolutely. That was so close. That was so close. And when Flat Out get on the faster lane, they're a bit behind, but it looks like they're gaining on the Ground Effects car. Who's going to get it?
Forget about seats. They're up in the air. They're on their feet. And Ground Effects take it again. That's the tightest pairing we've had today. Ground Effects through. Wow. It was only a couple of milliseconds that last race.
Absolutely. The Longford School going on a bit of a run here. Kinsale Community School guys will definitely be disappointed with that one, but look, it's a great run from them. We move on to Team Revolution versus Kingspan for the right to race that pairing. And look, Revolution, they got through the last round. Times maybe not where they want them to be. They're up against a big team here in Kingspan. Can they do the business? The car's been getting better all the time, but it's not going to be getting good enough to get past Kingspan in the first race at least. That's some daylight between them there. 1.495 though from Kingspan. That's achievable. That is achievable for Revolution.
You can just see their front wing there. I don't think that's made the 1.5 minute clearance. It's dragging slightly on the track. That's what's slowing them down, Revolution. But I think they can do the business here. Kingspan aren't safe just yet. And as you can see, as we get further into the Knockout Cup, and the times are getting quicker and the lights out, away we go. Revolution do get away quick, but unfortunately, I think Kingspan are going to pull ahead here. And that's really unfortunate for Revolution. But Kingspan, what a performance from them through to the round of 16. Revolution with 1.916, not going to be enough to see them through. And we will see Kingspan versus Ground Effects in the round of 16. So up next now is Future versus Sting Racing here. Future getting across the line. I think they're only going to get ahead quicker. A little bit of a drifting there from Future, but just see them taking the win there. Sting, they're going to have something to say about that. 1.344. It's not unthinkable. Let's see how they get on here, Aaron.
Absolutely. And again, that interesting wing design from Future. So they're trying to minimize drag by having it only supported on one side. That is really an innovative approach to the competition for sure. Let's see if they can do the business on the other lane of the track. Oh, there's distance there between the cars. Future going to take this one. It's a great performance all around from Sting. They get through to this round, but no further. Future Racing taking the win and taking the place in the round of 16.
With a 1.315 round, that's going to be very, very hard to beat. So we'll see who can do it. So BCS Falcons versus Pro Force Racing in for the round of 32 here. Two similar colour cars here, and not much split them in the seating either. So this is again a monster affair. Waterford versus Cork, and it's a nice matchup here. Really, really close. Pro Force just getting ahead. Is there a bit of gain in there for BCS Falcons? Nope. I think Pro Force, yeah, they're going to get ahead here. Just over.
That is achievable, though. Absolutely achievable. We know BCS Falcons can do this. If you haven't had your Saturday night takeaway yet, you're getting all the spicy need from the Pro Force BCS Falcons matchup here.
To the viewers watching at home, I have my head in my hands here, much like yourselves, I'd imagine. Aaron, excellent quip.
But that's 1.498, the time to beat. This is really, really close. Can BCS Falcons get ahead? They can't. Oh, that is so close. Pro Force improved by 4 milliseconds. They take the place against Future Racing in the round of 16. Next, we move on then to Defiance versus Hurricane.
Yeah, Aaron, I think that one, David Croft will be happy with that one. Crofty, as he's otherwise known for Sky Sports. Aaron, I think this is going to be a nice race here from Defiance and Hurricane.
This is a little bit of wobbling from the Defiance. Wobbles, yeah. Absolutely. Can Defiance get ahead, though? It looks like they're going to sneak ahead for the end. It's going to be really close. What are the times here? 1.536 from Defiance. Hurricane have got to look at that and think they can do it.
Yeah, Aaron, can you just quickly explain as well, just the wobble and how it happens and how teams can what they can do to, I suppose, counteract it?
Absolutely. It's also to do with the wheel system, Paul. The wheel system and the tether lines, your wheels are pulling you side to side if they're slightly off alignment. And again, as the gas comes out of that canister, it's not that even sometimes. The Defiance car improves slightly. They take the win against Hurricane, but they'll be concerned about the damage appearing then on those wheels again. Will it be enough to get them through the next round? So the other Coláiste Ciarán school then, they'll be hoping to represent Athlone and get into the round of 16. The last Athlone team left in the competition, Rogue 3, looking to deny them. There's a bit of a seed gap here, Paul.
Yeah, of course. And then again, Flight Racing with that heavily bandaged front wing. Rogue 3 might fancy the chances here, but no, never say never here. And looks like Rogue 3 will take the win on this first occasion. But Flight Racing have another chance to do it. And you can just see the towel being flung up into the air in front of the camera there. And that's our stopping system. Really, really effective so far. And yeah, Flight Racing, well done to them. So they're going to try and improve for this next race here and get into the round of 16, really break the seed here.
So under that towel system, you've got the F1 Schools deceleration system, sponsored this year by Medtronic, and that is what's keeping your cars safe here. So 1.349 the time to beat, but it won't matter. Rogue 3 back to the 1.55s. Concerned about that time, but they do enough to get through to the round of 16 and can worry a bit later on about accounting for Defiance. Next up, it's Uisce, it's St. Pat's. They're going to battle it out.
So again, another tight pairing here. Uisce Racing setting really, really fast times in the round of 60, and they get across the line here. Quickest again. And 1.28, I don't think we've seen any of the teams set at 1.2 so far today, have we?
Yeah, I think we might have had one from Fortinova, but on this side of the draw, the big teams are future Quicksilver in terms of seeding the teams that got a bye. They haven't set times that are as good as this one from Uisce. So they're definitely going to be striking fear into that tournament bracket. 1.28 is the time to beat. They scorch ahead again. St. Pat's, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to them. Uisce Racing in the 1.3s this time. That's going to be tasty, that matchup against Nova. Nova obviously getting the bye past Swift Racing, who are unable to race. So they're straight to the round of 16. Look at the draw for them. They pick up the points.
Exactly here. So now we have Xenon versus the Invictus here, Aaron. Two nice cars here, ready to battle it out.
Two Meath schools as well. It's Dunboyne and it's Navan. It's Coláiste na Meath versus St. Peter's College. It's Invictus racing against Xenon, and
close.
Look at that. There's nothing to separate them at the end. 600s between it.
Yeah, that's a really great race. And you can see as well as the sponsor sticker coming up from Xenon's car. Maybe they've lost a millisecond or two there. Hard to know.
That's the return leg. Xenon will definitely feel like they've got a chance here. They're in the hunt. This is for the bragging rights. The other Coláiste na Meath car is in the round of 16. Invictus hoping to join them.
And they do. Xenon will be bitterly disappointed with that, Aaron. Really, really unfortunate. But that's unfortunate the way things go these days. So now this is a pair in here with a season that's quite far apart. You'd think that because Quicksilver got a bye through to this round that they'll do the business here, but let's see. And they do look like they're getting away quickest here. The front wing just popping up off the track, and they do get across the line here. Study Clicks just bring up the rear there.
Okay, then. So it's the return leg, Study Clicks versus Quicksilver. This is for the last place in the round of 16. One thing you can see about that Quicksilver wing design, right? It's generating a lot of lift. That might have been responsible for their accident first time round. And you can see again there, the front of the car, it lifts up off the track. It's gliding along, basically. Those front wheels not really in contact with the ground at all. It's very close, but Quicksilver improve again. And that is it then for the round of 32. We move on to the round of 16. And this is it. One race to feature in tomorrow's documentary. All they've got to do is get to the quarterfinals. It's Vortinova versus the surprise package so far, Harp Racing. Paul, talk me through it.
Yeah, so first versus 17th there, Aaron. So 17th place managing to get into the top 16. That's not a bad achievement at all. And it looks like Fortunova didn't get as good a takeoff as they would have liked, but they do get ahead here thanks to their aerodynamics and their wheel system. So Fortunova to 1.272, Aaron. That's a really great time. That's the best time so far. Harp Racing will be looking to see if they can improve here, but a 1.2 is that insurmountable for them. Never say never. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. Harp Racing. They're going to try and save themselves here. Lights out. Away we go. They get a decent start. It looks like they're neck and neck so far, but it looks like Fortunova are going to pull ahead, and the time won't matter because they put daylight between themselves and Harp Racing. End of the road, unfortunately, for the Tralee team, but great performance all around.
Yeah, Fortunova with 1.2 times. They seem to be coming into their own here late on in the Knockout Cup. Very good stuff here. So Nimbus versus FAF. This is the one I was saying, Aaron. Really tight pairing. Nimbus, again, have they been the dark horse? Have they kind of gone unnoticed and slipped under the radar? Let's see what happens here. So they do get away quickest, and it looks like they're going to take the win here. Well, FAF, are they gaining? No, not enough, unfortunately. So Nimbus take the win there.
That was really, really close. There's less than 500s between them. FAF, it's not over for them. It's seed 8 versus seed 9. They've got one chance to save themselves, one chance to put themselves in tomorrow night's documentary. This is it. Lights out. Away we go. 1.399 is the time to beat. It won't matter. Look at that from Nimbus. They streaked ahead. Selbridge Community School put themselves in the final 8. What a performance. That is a giant killing.
1.338. That is exceptional stuff, Aaron. And they're through to face Vortinova. That's going to be a really fun pairing as well. Aaron, you reminded me of a young Murray Walker there with your excellent commentary. We did get a lovely compliment saying we came across a little bit like Murray Walker in the last few days. I think that is a compliment, big time. I think that I think we have a lot to live up to, Aaron. But let's see what happens. Here we go. Vroom again here. Richie Osa. And Richie Osa just pipping them, I think, at the line here. Vroom Racing, you're going to start making some more noise here because you're going to have to start cheering this car on a bit more. I tell you, this is going to be a tasty second race here. Richie Osa not home and dry. And let's see what Vroom have to say about that.
Absolutely. Prez Killarney will look to get one of their representatives into the final 8. They're going to give it everything they can in this race. 1.336, the time to beat. We go to the overhead view. Oh, that's it. Richie Osa across the line first, and they're in the 1.36s. They get through to the quarterfinals, and we move on then to the 4th place in the quarterfinals to be decided between Ground Effects and Kingspan. Paul, you've had to think about this race.
Have Aaron. Ground Effects, they're going to be at home and they're going to be thinking, we've beaten Kerry, we've beaten Cork, now let's go for the triple. We're going to beat Dublin. That's what they're thinking. Longford team here, they want to do the business. Kingspan, they're not going to be too sure just yet. They want to make sure they get time on the board here. And Ground Effects, if they get the quickest race here.
This is really, really close, but Kingspan take it. 1.396 is within reach for Ground Effects, though. It's certainly within reach. They're going to get into the fast lane here, Paul, and the Longford team looking to upset the seeding here. If I were Kingspan Racing, I would not be sitting easy in my seat right now.
Yeah, the Ground Effects did get the quickest launch there, but Kingspan did recover quickly halfway down the track. And it looks like they're neck and neck again here. Ground Effects could do the business here, Aaron. They look like they're
going to be. It's a
1.396
to beat 1.47.
It's not going to be enough.
Ground Effects. No, it's not enough. It is not enough. And Kingspan Racing, they take their place in the quarterfinals. They'll face Ricky Osa. And now we move on to Future versus Proforce.
So 2nd versus 15th seeds here, Aaron. You think that Future can do the double over here at Proforce, but nothing is unpredictable. Nothing is predictable here, Aaron. Sorry. And Future look like they're going to get across the line here, of course, first. Proforce not that far behind them. 1.227. That is an extremely quick time for Future race. I think that's the quickest time we've seen today, Aaron, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like clockwork, that future racing car, it's just putting in time after time, dispatching opponent after opponent. And it looks like that might be out of reach of Pro Force, but never say never. Pro Force Racing, then we go to the overhead view. This one could be close.
What's going to happen here? Think Future take the win here, of course, and the Pro Force come through at a 1.43. Not much to split them on that last one, but Future through to the quarterfinals, and they will make it to the documentary on TG Car tomorrow night. So next, Defiance versus Rogue 3, Aaron.
Absolutely. So this is rivalry and this is bragging rights because it's Seed 7, it's Seed 10. They're both from Limerick. It's Newcastle West versus Limerick City, Laurel Hill. Who's going to come out on top? Again, you can see that Defiance car is taking a bit of damage, but it is race worthy. That wheel is staying intact. Are they going to come across on
This is
top
close.
here? This is very close. What's the time?
Defiance.
1.439.
Wow.
Defiance. Wow.
That's
Rogue
exceptional.
3
Yeah.
have got to try and save themselves. It looks like Defiance are going to break the seed here. They're going to take the local bragging rights. Two newcomer schools. They're both vying for places in the last 8.
Yeah, Rogue 3 up on their feet at the minute. I'd say they are screaming at the screen here. They want to see their car cross the line quickest and beat that time that Defiance have after setting.
So
It looks like Rogue 3 are going to get ahead here.
They're ahead. Can they get the time though? What's the time going to be? It's 1.406.
They've done
it.
Rogue 3 are through to the quarterfinals here, and Defiance so unlucky there. Rogue 3 just beating them off by milliseconds. That is really, really, really tight there, and they're going to face Future Racing, Defiance Racing. What a journey they've been on. That is brilliant from them.
Absolutely. So we say goodbye to the Laurel Hill Coláiste School, but an excellent performance from them. They're so close, but denied by their Limerick compatriots in the last round. Uisce Racing then taking on Nova, and they put some distance between themselves and the car from Dublin. 1.393 is not their best effort so far. Nova will feel like they've got that in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, you remember there that Uisce have been setting 1.2s, so maybe there's an issue with the wheel system there, and maybe they've seized up a small bit. One way or another, they're not safe yet. Team Nova, they can do the business here now. If they can get ahead, get a nice launch here, a bit of wobbling,
but it looks close there. Is the Uisce car going to pull ahead? The Nova car is going to get there. Go to the overhead view. I actually can't tell who finished first there. I cannot tell who finished first there, but unfortunately
7 milliseconds.
Yeah, look at the replay there. It doesn't matter though, because Uisce Racing's time from the first race is enough to take them through to the quarterfinals. They'll be the lowest seeded team there, no matter what, the 14 seeds. So then Invictus take on Quicksilver for that final spot. Will Coláiste na Mí be the best represented school in those quarterfinals? Who knows? Invictus in 11th, Quicksilver seeded 6th. Again, that car took a lot of damage in qualifying. Can they do it, Paul?
Yeah, this is going to be tight. Invictus might have something to say about it though. And this is the last race from our behalf, Aaron. Quicksilver again generating that lift, and they're just getting across the line quick. Because again, downforce isn't necessarily required for this race, seeing as it is just a straight race. They're not going on corners, so that lift doesn't seem to be harming them too much. They are ahead. Let's see what happens in this next race.
Absolutely, and that actually could be, in a way, maybe reducing some of the friction with the track and just letting that car glide along. That could be the secret behind this Quicksilver design. Lights out and away we go. 1.371's the time to beat, but it looks like Quicksilver have got ahead anyways. It won't matter because Quicksilver put themselves in the quarterfinals, and that is it for the racing that we've got for you today. The quarterfinal matchups decided then. Quicksilver on a great run. The 6 seeds joined Uisce Racing in a quarterfinal. Uisce got through Nova, St. Pat's, and Velocity Racing to book their place. They're the lowest seeded team there. And you can vote for your favorite quarterfinalist for the next 24 hours on our Instagram story and Twitter account for the chance to win a Pure Clothing hoodie. You can check out the range at pureclothing.ie. Quarterfinal 1 then is Vortinova versus Nimbus. Quarterfinal 2 sees Ricky Osa, the 4th seeds, take on Kingspan in 5th. It's quarterfinal 3, a battle of Future Racing versus Rogue 3. And Uisce Racing, the surprise package, take on Quicksilver in the final quarterfinal. Paul Flynn, we're signing off for today. Everyone can catch on tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Final word to you.
Yeah, Aaron, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, we've drummed up a nice bit of excitement for the teams. The TG4 broadcast is going to be really, really exciting for these 8 teams. But yeah, it's been an honor. It's been great. And we can't wait to give away a couple of awards. So, on behalf of the F1 Schools Ireland team, we want to thank everyone for participating, everyone for interacting with us on social media, and just being excellent competitors all year round. You've been really, really brilliant. And we are just delighted with the way things have turned out. So well done, everyone, and best of luck.